Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Good afternoon. Molly and Shalur, Richard, Unicorn Queen. Let's see who else we got here. Simon. Hello, Loot. What's up? Yeah, looks like we had a mixed bag over lunch. Looks like the breaker we were looking at earlier to go short. Price finally traded down to the level we thought it would go. It did invalidate the breaker prior to doing so. So that would have been an entry that would have been difficult to take. Unless after it invalidated and traded back inside the breaker, you still believed that it was going short and then you took it. But 67 is a level I was looking for it to go earlier. Because as I mentioned multiple times before, I like a 30-point TP. I think it was right here. I think we got it right there. Yeah, right to the tick. But anyway, yeah, but as I mentioned, this would have been a tough one to take anyway, based on the setup. It would have been tough to get into that trade, so most people would have missed it. So I'll keep looking now, and we'll look and see if we should be looking for a different setup or if we think price is going to pull back into the range. We still have the hourly fair value gap above, starting at 131, extending up to 158, with a consequent encroachment value of 144. This gray area is a previous new week opening gap, so an older one, but it could become relevant if we get up in that area. So let's just keep all that in mind. See who else we have. Tehran. Everybody on bullish. Okay, you're looking for the fair value gap. All right. Well, we did already have it trade into the fair value gap here, but I see maybe you're talking about this one. Okay. Yeah, Milad, that's a good call that the 4 hour did close above the consequent encroachment area. You're right. So with that being said, maybe it's not ready to retrace back into internal range liquidity yet. It's going to continue extending further into external range, possibly. All right, so now we see a retrace into the fair value gap that Tehran was just talking about. Fair value gap here. There's a second one right here that was traded into at the 1245 candle. And I think we have a small one here. Maybe just 1 or 2 points down at 85. Okay, no, not 1 or 2 points, maybe 1 or 2 ticks. But quite a small one down here. And then, of course, we have potentially a return to the 1 hour, which is down at 78, extending down to 73. Let's go ahead and look at how the other indices and the dollar traded during the lunch hour. All right, remember we had a bearish fair value gap right here. And we were looking for price to trade up and then fail, trade back lower. what ended up happening at 12 o'clock is it was a confirmed bullish fair value gap created. And then during lunch hour, price traded above the edge of the fair value gap and closed, so invalidating the bearish. So now the bullish is validated, and the bearish is invalidated. So now we got to look and see how the dollar wants to react. Will it trade lower, find support, and go higher? Because that's likely the scenario that we're looking at. And if that is the case, then will we be looking for lower prices on the indices? We already see right now they're starting to trade lower for this hour, but again, this is just an hour. So we need to pay attention to consequent encroachment on the wick. So that's probably somewhere around 18,090. I'm just eyeballing it here for NQ, whatever the wick is here on the 1 hour. How price wants to react when it gets there. If it trades lower than that, then let's focus on the fair value gap that's below at 0.80. So 0.90 and then 0.80. So maybe the Dow was tipping our hand earlier that we would trade lower. We just needed to wait for the others to get in sync. All right, so I'm going to bounce back over and we'll continue to watch NQ trade here. We're still in, oh, sorry, we just finished the macro. The last one. Maybe our range is expanding. Yeah, Queen. If it's this blue in here, then that's why I dragged this one across, because I was wondering, I was like, is it setting up a new one in the exact same position? But it's a little bit larger. But it's kind of the same thing. There's a trade above, and then potentially we get a trade below. Very similar to what Richard was looking at this morning, and he asked me if this was a bullish breaker from earlier, right before the opening bell started, and then we saw it trade right into it. Yep. If we get a trade below, then we can easily pull in the candle here as a breaker, but we also can extend it to the previous candle as well. Since it's all part of the same move, it end up being this. So you had a high to a low, higher high, and now we need a lower low. We need price to trade down and close below. So it hasn't happened yet, so we don't have anything. JR, what's up? Morning. Yep, Tehran, we got it right here where this was the fair value gap you were discussing. And you can see even though it traded below, it still closed back inside. So still no invalidation of that bullish fair value gap. In fact, let me go ahead and draw it just in case. Okay, so it closed one tick below. Closed one tick below, which technically invalidates it, but I'll leave it there and see if it can be reclaimed by this candle. If it's not reclaimed by this candle, then I'll let it go. Because what's happening is we also just got a bearish one to form. Trade back into it. Now it's pushing lower. So that's what I'll do. So I'll go ahead and, yeah, let me pull it out. $25 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. Nope, still no closure below. Mm. You're right, it does. The 1 minute kind of does. In that case, you would expect a failure sometime soon. Which would also coincide with the 5 minute bearish fair value gap here. All right, we're really close to consequent encroachment here on the 5 minute fair value gap. So let's see what happens once it touches. We got really close and now it's pulling back. Something tells me it's going to trade back up. I think he does want to trade. Yeah, he came in and I gave him some of my snack, which I usually do. And as soon as he finishes, he runs away. But occasionally he will come back. I have him locked out of the room right now, though, so maybe that's his problem. He wants to come back in. Yeah, you're right. We got to trade it right back into this same fair value gap here. Oops. Is this the reaction off the consequent encroachment I was looking for? Yeah, see, which one are you talking about? So one I had put earlier, that was based on this breaker that we had been trying to, well, I had been trying to take since like 10, around 10, 15 or so. So that's where that trade was set up. And it was based on taking it right here at this level, 18,097, and taking it down for 30 points, which was delivered here during lunch. Now there's not really a setup here. But if I was going short out of this fair value gap, I would put my stop loss above this swing high. If I was going long off of this fair value gap, I would put my stop loss underneath this candle. So right here in the fair value gap at around 18,077. Let's measure this up. Okay, so we did get a 50% retracement into the fair value gap. And that's going wick to wick. If I did my usual going from the body to wick, then we got a 70.8 retracement to the tick. So this would have been your OTE area. Okay, so we saw the last candle do the same thing. Take this consequent encroachment area, push down. However, just before closing, it bought all the way back up to the consequent encroachment. So now let's see how this candle handles it. Anyone inspired by this type of price action here, or are we all sitting on our hands here? I realize that if there's anyone in the room that's a scalper, this may be prime real estate for you, where you may actually prefer this type of price action. Yeah, me neither. I'm definitely sitting on my hands. Every time I think I see something or I think I want something, I realize I don't. All right, it's 1:30 now. Let's go ahead and put up our session highs and lows. Okay, we're looking at just over 55 or just under 60 point range here. And more so than what we're looking at here, we're kind of stuck in between this bullish fair value gap below us. And you can't see it as well, but these two red lines represent a bearish fair value gap above us. So both of them on a 1 hour time frame. So we got bullish right here, and then we got bearish up here, and price is just sitting in the center. Has been since it traded above the bullish fair value gap, traded down, rejected out. And that happened right after the opening bell. So this was 940. At 945, we were above it, and we've remained above it since 945. However, we have not traded into the bearish one above at 131. We haven't traded there yet today. Okay. Yep. It was created on April the 15th. So we're looking at about 3 weeks since it was created. We haven't traded back. Okay, James is a scalper. Okay, took my second trade of the day and I'm done. Excellent. Gotcha, James. Yeah, most of us are looking around and saying, yeah, this is not the market that we typically would trade. And so we're all looking for more from the market before we look for a new setup. And so until that happens, we're just being patient. We close above 11:45 candle, which is this one. Let's jump over to ES for just a moment. See if there's a cleaner setup there or something that we see that sticks out. Okay, so this move up didn't sweep the high. So in Q, we went high, low, higher, lower, low, higher, high. We didn't get that here. This is the breaker on NQ. Trade back down, hit consequent encroachment, and then we're moving up. This would have been your breakaway gap. Okay. All right. So anyone who is trading S&P, maybe you did find an entry. Maybe you're inside of a trade right now. As we talked about the lunchtime highs and lows, your lunchtime high would be here at 51.91. Your entry on the trade would have been 51.86 3/4. So to get 5 handles, you would need it to push a little bit higher. Yeah. Yep. So this was the high I was talking about on ES. This high was never made. It stopped lower and then traded lower. So then when this leg was created, this closure ended up being above this high, which then gave you the confirmation on the breaker. Trading back in gave the entry, and now it's trading out. And that was on ES, not on NQ. We're looking at NQ right now. But that's the difference between those two. You're currently using my funded futures, and Topstep are not available in your, and Apex not available in your country. Okay. I don't have any more that I could recommend, because those are the only three that I'm really familiar with and would recommend. But maybe there's someone else in a group who may also be in a country that doesn't allow Topstep and Apex, and maybe they can provide you some assistance, James. I Tehran, yes, I would recommend. I'm sorry, not recommend. I would favor bullish price action right now too, as well. Just so far, it just hasn't done anything. I do like the fact that we just invalidated this fair value gap, so that's good. Oh, James, that's awesome. Great, man. That's good to hear. Well, Glad you're in the room and has been around for a while. Yeah, whenever you join, just say good morning or say hello, and join the chat as far as what we're looking for, setups, and just become part of the group. I appreciate you being here and your participation today. Is there anyone else who are using a prop firm outside of Apex and Topstep because your country doesn't allow them? Is there any other prop firms you can recommend for James? Yep, you're right about that. Queen has not created a 5 minute bearish breaker at all, even though it's been slow to get up to the bearish fair value gap that we have above us, which is most likely where we would look for a bearish fair value bearish breaker. Um, it's still remained bullish and has not violated the 5 minute protected low, which is down here at 18,043. Right, we might actually be shifting the protected low up to the lunch low if we can get a closure up above. All right, lunch high taken. So let's mark that off. Fast approaching the 1 hour fair value gap above us from April 15th. So we did get that closure above. We did. And so that will shift up our protected low. It will now share the lunch low. I see we did also get just a tap, a couple ticks into the fair value gap there. And now we see a retracement beginning. All right, we're back into the macro. Forgot about that. All right, let's see where price wants to go during this next 20 minutes. We still have the bearish fair value gap above. We put one or two ticks inside and we saw the retracement. Let's see now if price wants to dig a little deeper. We have consequent encroachment at 144. We have the upper limit at 158. Okay, E-mini S&P is buying, showing that it wants higher prices. The Dow is definitely buying for sure. To close out this hour, showing really strong bullish pricing. And the dollar not doing very much at all. So just a mixed bag here. It's not uncommon really for pricing on the indices to get out of sync a little bit when there's no high impact news driving price on that day. I usually like for it to align fully, but sometimes you can't always do that. And when it is aligned fully, the move has already happened. So sometimes you really do just have to look at singular price action of one indice. But when you look at all three and compare them, you do want to see them aligned. And we got 2 o'clock coming up in about 5 minutes. Yeah, we're not seeing really any impulsive price runs today so far. Really. All right, looks like price might want to return back to the fair value gap. Let's see where it goes once it gets in there. So we can see. All right, so it did touch the edge. Trade it back here. Okay, new high for the hour and for the afternoon. However, we did not get a closure above the previous high. Just a wick. Yeah, me too, Milad. I was hoping that price would push a little deeper into this fair value gap. We're just in it by a couple ticks here. It'd be nice if it ran up to 144 and hit consequent encroachment. All right, we got 30 seconds left until the new hour. All right, price is closing off the hourly candle. See what it does for the last 10 seconds. And then see where this takes us for the opening of the next hour. All right, took out last hour's high. Went a little deeper in there. Milad said he wants the lower quartile, which would be half of from here to consequent encroachment. So Milad is looking for a level around 138 to be the lower quartile. 138. Um, it's hard to say, Queen, on this one, really. It is hard to say whether I trust this one or not. I don't. Just because of the way price action is moving now, and we just are entering a bearish fair value gap here. But with that being said, I'm currently in a long from 123. And I have my stop at break even. So yeah, I don't trust it. Oh, pay and trade. Yeah, make sure you have the notifications on. Turn the notification on when you go to where you're subscribed, and it usually will alert you 30 minutes before and let you know that I'm on. And then once I actually go live, it'll send you another alert and say, hey, LP just got on live. Join now. Mm. Oh, the daily volume imbalance, 1550 to 175. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. I thought that number sounded familiar, but yeah, I keep forgetting that daily and weekly volume imbalances is the same thing as the new week and new day opening gap. No, pay and trade. That's pray and trade. Sorry, that's next week. So it starts this Friday and then extends into next week. Uh, Tehran, sometimes yes, sometimes no. In this case, where I'm kind of iffy about the entry, no, I wouldn't, because I want to be fair and aware to those of you who hasn't been trading as long and most likely would have taken a setup that I took just because I took it. So I want to make sure that I'm not misinformed and misguiding anyone on a setup that I'm not really sold on. But if I have a setup that looks pretty easy or an A plus setup, then I'll post it on the screen and show you what it looks like and where the entry is. But if you look at the way price has been trading this morning and this afternoon, this has been pretty nasty. The 1 minute is a little easier to see, but when we get on the 5 minute, it just doesn't look like high probability setup. So no, I didn't show that one. Okay, Legion, welcome, welcome to the channel. But great, glad you found yourself a setup you could jump into, and then you're currently profitable and holding for final TP. Good luck on your trade. Mm-hmm. About 3 more minutes in this macro period. Okay, I think you did get to the 25%. Who is that? Who is Milad? You got to your lower quartile. Yep. definitely daily volume imbalance. Good call, Ray. You're right. Yeah. I hope we can get to about 150 to 155, but we'll see if we get that high or if I get stopped out at break even before. Here, back into 121. And let's move these markers. The macro is over. Oh, in the same area on the weekly as well. Let me check that. Yeah, it sure does. And it makes sense because it's between a Friday and a Monday. How nice. Quartile there just so we can see the line and know exactly where it is. The 18138 level. We've rejected from it twice. Let's do the same thing here. All right, let's take a peek over at our indices, other indices, while we're waiting for price to make its next move. Um, we can see a very small range from the dollar last hour. And so far this hour as well, first 15 minutes hasn't really moved very much. However, it is not making lower lows, so it's looking like it's moving in a bullish direction. However, we do look at the three indices across the board. Last several hours have all been bullish. In the case of S&P, it's been bullish pretty much all day. Even though the ranges have been small, the wicks are long, the bodies are small. So even though you have 5 hours of being bullish, you have a total range of 10 points or 15 points, like not a lot. Same over here on S&P, you have a range of 40, 50 points, but it took 4 hours to accumulate that much. So it's still bullish, just not moving very far. And with that being said, we would like to see an inverse relationship here. And so far, we're just not getting that. But not surprising on a Monday without any high or low impact news. We did have the low or no impact news of the FOMC guy speaking. I guess he was speaking at 1, I think. So far, it seems like nothing became of that. So, all right, we'll flip back over. Legion is because I have 4 screens here, and so my trade is actually executed on a separate screen. So that's why you don't see my position. It's on one of my other screens that I'm looking at a different time frame. Yeah, JSTOR's this displacement has been slow to come by today. These are the type of days where all time frames need to consolidate at some time. So it looks like today has been the day they selected for that to occur on. Well, not really. I don't really see it consolidating on any, but as slow as it's moving at first, I thought it was going to be a consolidation on either the 1 hour or the 4 hour, but it does appear that it is making new highs. But if we do get a sweep back down into the range like we saw earlier today, then it'll be considered a consolidation day. I thought we would have had a deeper retracement back into internal range after taking external range, but that just hasn't happened today. And I'm referring to the 4 hour time frame. I thought the 4 hour time frame would consolidate back down, or not consolidate back down, but retrace back down and get into the 17,900 level, 17,800. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're all different style traders. We all see the markets differently. So when we look at the candles moving, yeah, everybody wants something different. Yep. Hey, there's the manipulation. Possibly. It just tapped me out at break even. So that ends my trade. Legion, you may have gotten your wish. That must mean TJ is killing it. That's what it sounds like to me. $122, saying that's the low. Okay. I went exactly to my stop, tapped me out, and then came back up because I was in at 123. I think my stop was at 124. Ah, funny. Nice, Vivian. Good job. Mm-hmm. All right, so we broke through the first quartile, closed above. We also tapped consequent encroachment at 144. Upper quartile now. Now, between the upper quartile and the upper edge, it went through 50% of that. So it's gotten to about 88% of the fair value gap now. And now it's retracing. All right, we got a gap here that maybe it'll trade to. Actually, the gap isn't confirmed yet. It needs 2 more minutes. I'll label it there, but it's not confirmed until 2 minutes. Looks like the way the opening bell was this morning. Those two candles. All right, 90 seconds. It'll be 2:30. Of the quarter of the daily volume balances. Okay. I hope not. I hope not, Vivian, for sure. But well, at least we have one medium impact news event on Wednesday, so that should help a little bit. Yeah, hopefully this is just because it's Monday, first day of the week. We're gonna have back-to-back days without news. So hopefully tomorrow is different. Because sometimes when there's no news on Monday, we still get really good price action. So I'm I'm optimistic that we'll do better later in the week. Maybe even later this afternoon. It's now 2:30, so we're down to about 90 minutes of trading remaining. So things could get a little better as we move towards the closing bell today. Oh, Legion, good job. Way to grab that TP. All right, let's see how that fair value gap holds. Got another 2.5 minutes here. It's a very similar gap on the 1 minute. One minute, I think, invalidated. If I'm not mistaken. Nope, came right to the edge. I take that back. It did by a tick. Invalidated by 1 tick. Let's see what the following candle does to follow up. Minute remaining on this 5 minute candle. Let's see if it'll stay above the fair value gap here into the second quarter of the fair value gap. All right, so the 5 minutes survived on the last candle. Well, the 5 minute fair value gap survives. So let's see what that does now if we now see higher prices. out for 2 minutes. All right, I see our fair value gap is still alive, even though it got pierced through. Yeah, I'm also watching the 1 minute, and it seems like highs are kind of hard to come by, new highs. Still waiting to see if the fair value gap will survive this 5 minute candle. It's got about 30 seconds left. See if the candle wants to close above, inside, or below. Ready. So it did not make it through that candle. Oh, I was talking about a fair value gap. We were looking at a 5-minute fair value gap here, right here at the quarterly line. I was wanting to see if we would get some sort of support here at 137, and the lower extremity was 136. First traded through it, came back up, closed above with the wick, and then the next one traded through and closed below. So that's why I was like, it's invalidated now, so we'll get rid of that. And so now there's no fair value gap here to support price, so it is likely trading into the wick here, and we'll see if it finds support there or continues lower. Yeah, Queen, that's what my break even was before, and it got taken out by the 220 candle. And I ended up getting back in at 129, and then got taken out by the current candle. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we have the macro coming in about 7 minutes, and so we'll wait and see how price is trading at that time. Maybe it'll trade back into the breaker and give us something to use. You know what? Let's clean up the screen a little bit and get rid of these blue lines here. And I can also take out these quartiles. We don't need those. We just need consequent encroachment and the edges. And let's not forget, we have the lunch low down at 18,067. Thank you, Queen, for sending out the reminder. Thank you very much. Yeah, we got like half as many likes as we have viewers. All right, we had a trade back up to consequent encroachment, and now we see a retracement of about half of the range. All right, we're in the macro. Let's get down to the 1 minute. No fair value gap to speak of in the 1 minute. Yeah, TJ, yeah, they're very mediocre today. Extremely mediocre. right, we're running into resistance right here at consequent encroachment. We bounced off of it twice just recently, rejecting both times. What do we have here? We're going to take out this high at 154. All right, depending on how this candle goes, this may be the only fair value gap we have so far on this leg up. Right, so there is not going to be a fair value gap there. Yeah, Queen, I hear you. If you're sleepy, you should, yeah, cut and run. Today's price action is not worth it for your mental state of being. That's exactly what the market does. It gives you hope and snatches it right away from you. Yep, it's not interested in giving us anything today. I mean, we'll keep watching it. We'll keep being optimistic, but right now we're not being rewarded for that. All right, let's go and see if S&P is having the same type of struggles we're having over here on ES. Yeah, Same struggleville that we're dealing with. We're getting higher lows from here to here to here, now potentially here. Let's get back over to NQ here. All right, let's now watch and see if these lows are holding. All right, first one to fall. Oh, welcome to Power Hour. I didn't even notice that. It's 3 o'clock, everyone. All right. All right, Rupish. We'll go catch you tomorrow. Yep. Doing it very slowly, Richard. Very slowly. Dow is selling off. Yeah, it had a big rejection. The Dow was pushing hard, trying to get to the daily high, and then it just kind of failed at the end of the hour and pushing hard to the downside. And now, so far, the opening 2 minutes of this hour has also been pushing lower. For the day, all right, Taryn. Tehran. Good job on that. Glad you're able to grab something. Yeah, the market hasn't really given very much. I've been in a couple setups that gave like 15 points, but that wasn't my TP, and then it came all the way back. So hasn't given me anything today. All right, so we're about 15 hours into the trading day since midnight, and I'm looking at the 1 hour, and it has steadily, little by little, inched up all day. Here we are on the hourly, just from midnight, just a steady incline, little by little. This was 9 o'clock, so the opening bell, so we got a decent size impulse there. But then after that, just a little at a time. Okay, let's get back up. Looks like we're going to finish up this macro period without much to talk about. Yeah. Yeah, Ray, nothing special today for sure. Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have thought ES was stronger. Well, ES definitely has been cleaner, I'll tell you that. Um, the Dow looks weak, has been the weaker of the three. But between just ES and NQ, I would have thought NQ was weaker, but maybe not. Yeah, let me go over. I want to see. I want to see ES right now. Mm-mm. Yeah, let's go back and watch ES for a few more minutes. All right, first things first, need to invalidate the bullish value you got. That's the first thing needs to happen here. Yeah, Vivian, you didn't miss anything. Absolutely nothing. Mm. Okay, so we did invalidate this fair value gap there, which is good. See now if it puts a stamp there. Let me go back over to these guys. See if we don't get the same type of movement over here. I don't like these two sitting on top of each other. I'll stay here until this candle closes, then I'll go back to Nasdaq. Hmm. All right, 1 minute left. We had a little liquidity sweep here, and that's about it. Okay, we still have our lunch low down at 18,067. Just wanted to not forget about that just in case we do start to see lower prices. We have about 50 minutes left in the trading day. Ding, 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 ding. Oh man, just when you thought price was moving. Anyone currently in a position? That's Oh, you're holding to 161. Okay. All right. So Queen's in one, trying to get out of the fair value gap and just above. Sure, we got out. All right. Yep. Everyone's looking to get in, and price action is not giving us any kind of comfort or any type of A plus setup here. Got it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do after this session, Richard. I'm going to definitely be asleep for at least an hour or two. Feeling sluggish. I'm feeling like just today with nothing really happening here. Just it's taking my energy. Mm-hmm. Mm. All right, Skylar's in the short. We have a few people in longs. I was in a long, but that was at 129 I was in, and then it stopped me out. So even if I was still in it, I'd be up 10 to 15 points, which is what it gave me on this first move. It gave that much. Yep. So really, it's the people who got in on this candle trading back into the breaker, or this candle coming out of the breaker. These two, 145, 150. They were able to grab 30, depending on if they're still in or not. They were able to get 30, 35 points. Called it a day. Yeah. Well, 350 is not terrible, Queen. Good job. 122. I was just talking about that being the optimal entry. All right, Queen, take care. Hopefully, you get some rest. Today and during the overnight. Okay, got it. Pray and trade. Yeah, maybe this evening will be better than what we saw today when price reopens at 1800, and see if something overnight looks better for you. Unless you're able to trade London, some people are able to get up that early and trade. But this is always the risk you run on days without high impact news, because there's nothing to force price to move 100 points or force it to move to a pool of liquidity. Yep, you're right, Richard. No real news until Thursday. So this could continue to Thursday. I can't see that happening, but it could. Oh, you do trade London? Okay. Good job. All right, Pray. Well, at least you will be able to maybe find a better setup a little bit later. Unemployment claims. Let's see. When is unemployment? Okay, Thursday. Thursday at 8:30. Yep. Well, let's hope. Let's hope Thursday at 8:30 that we get something we can use. I mean, we don't start until 9:15, but that should at least get the market moving, and then we can find a setup within price structure at that time. Hop back over to ES. From my curiosity, how many of you trade ES regularly? Yeah, I know Ray will jump in and take some ES trades sometimes, but I'm not sure who else, how many other people, because I rarely even take a look at ES because I'm just not sure how many people are trading it. Hmm. Thank you. It's good. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you traded down. Okay. At least I wouldn't say one is necessarily better than the other. It just depends on your style. S&P is going to move the slowest, um, but it also has the highest value per point. But the candles move a little slower to allow you a little longer to see the setup and to enter the setup. It also can be a little cleaner, just because it does have a smaller range. But keep in mind, it does have a smaller range. I would say the Dow is probably the most volatile, and then NQ kind of sits in the middle. That's my personal opinion. Others may have a different opinion, but yeah, if you're brand new, ES might be easier, a little bit easier. But if you just flip flop between ES and Nasdaq, you'll for the most part find what you need. It's just I traded ES for probably a year before switching over to Nasdaq, and now I'm right at a year trading Nasdaq exclusively almost. So that was my progression. I started with ES, and then I wanted something with a little more juice to it, and I moved over to Nasdaq. And the Dow was the first thing I saw because, of course, when you first start trading, you want the one that moves the fastest with the biggest upside, where you can make money quick. But then you see that on the flip side, it also has it'll run to your stop loss quickly as well. So so that was kind of my progression. I went extremely fast and extremely slow, and then settled in the middle. No, Richard, I think you're spot on. It is definitely a little easier today, and you can see even the candles, the wicks aren't nearly as long. Yep, it's just you get a whole range. This whole leg up is what, just about 20 points, which is $1,000 because it's $50 per point on a mini for ES. If you move over to Nasdaq, this range would have probably been worth, instead of $1,000, this range would have probably been worth, well, let's just go to it. But usually it's going to be around 1,400, right? So now we're looking at 18,072 to 18,151, 30, 50, 80. So this range is worth 1,600. Where on Nasdaq, if you caught it at the bottom and rode it to the top, it was worth 1,000. Yeah, Lisa, you're gonna have both of those, and so the problem is when we get caught up into the fast days and we want that every day. Days like today are disappointing, but days like today they come around once every couple weeks or so. So it's not that they're uncommon. We just don't like them. But hopefully you're able to absorb when we talked about what we wanted to see, and then we just wait and wait and wait, and it still hasn't happened. We did finally get a confirmation on the breaker here, trade back in and push higher, but the push higher got stuck in this fair value gap. So normally my bearish fair value gaps are like a pinkish red color, and instead of these two lines, you'll see this, right? And so we just got traded into it, and this should send price down. So that's why the up movement kind of got stalled, and we've just been sitting here all afternoon. I can delete these. Oops. Confirmation 145. We'd have been looking for TP somewhere up here, and it looks like we might get it in the next 5 to 10 minutes, but it would have still taken 2 hours to get there. We would have hoped that that would have taken about a half hour. All right, we just closed the largest candle since 1255. Okay, excellent, great. I'm glad you're just paper trading, Lisa. Yeah, that's good. So just keep checking in. Continue to absorb whatever it is that we're saying, whatever is being typed in the chat. You'll start to figure out who the frequent subscribers are that show up every day, and the ones that are always talking about what they see in the market or which positions they're trying to take. So you'll start picking up on all of that, and then as your understanding gets better, you'll start asking the right questions that help you move forward in your trading journey, and hopefully we're all on the same page very soon. All right, so the new week opening gap that we're trading into here is from April 14th through the 19th that week, which makes sense because this fair value gap here is from April 15th. In fact, let me label it. One hour. All right, on days like today, now is a time where your most favorable trading conditions exist, and it's only because time is creeping up on us. So it can't just mope around and consolidate. It can if that's all it wants to do, but if there is a target it wants to hit today, it's running out of time to get there. So it's about 30 minutes left in our trading day, and so this is when you'll likely start seeing things move if there's a pool of liquidity that it needs to grab today. Oh, you got in at 18,000. Jeez. Oh, right around the London low. Okay. 18,000. Here's the London low. Here was the best entry of the day. This breaker. Yep. So price breakdown, trade above, back in, trade above, close, trade back down, take that entry at 205, and you could have held that entry all day. It never came back. There was a retracement at 4 o'clock, but it didn't quite get there. So if you had stayed in and had your trade at break even, as Queen just mentioned, you would have been in at 18,000 roughly. And now we'd be talking about you being at 18, 151, 150 points is on a mini is $3,000 for one contract. Yeah, no problem, Lisa. We're all here to help. We're all still growing, even though some of us have been trading for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and some 3 months. Well, we're at all different stages in our journey. But glad to have you. Okay, we're 5 minutes away from the final macro of today. That final macro will run from 350 until the end of prop firm trading at 410. Remember I said on a day like today, one of the best opportunities is now, because the algorithm is running out of time to complete its mission. So whatever that is, it needs to get moving now. And that's why you see price starting to push. Thirty seconds will be in the last macro. Almost there. Let's drop down to the smaller time frame then. We'll watch the last 20 minutes from here. All right, so we did see price trade above and close above, although this is a 1 hour fair value gap. So we need it to be above and close above in 10 minutes. So we'll check back at 4 o'clock and see where price is at that time. It's about 6.5 minutes before the hour. We do see a push up, but we will need to clear these highs if price wants to run. Remember, this gray area is a new week opening gap from about 3 weeks ago. So 172 is the upper edge of that. Let's see if price can get to it. Okay. Did that in, it was somewhere down here. In like half a second, it just took it. And now it may just run here. After everyone's exhausted, no one wants to trade, no one wants to enter. Strange and funny. Yeah, TJ, I took a quick scalp as well. I was able to get in at 156 and I was targeting 170, 171.75. And when it did this big push up, I don't even know where it closed me out at, but it definitely closed me out at 171.75, which is where I wanted to get out. Maybe 173, who knows? But now it's done another 10, 12 points already. Okay, this is a lunch high from when? April 15th. Look at that. Get back down to the 1 minute. Sorry about that. All right, we have another 1 hour fair value gap, a bearish one from the same April 15th at 18,222. Yeah, if I was optimistic about price right now, I would take it to this fair value gap at 222, as opposed to me having my exit at 171. Yep, you're right. That was it. Milad, you're right. This gray area on my screen is that daily volume imbalance. Exactly. Thank you, macro. Hmm. Yeah, April 15th has a lot. We have obviously this new week opening gap we're in is from April 15th. This bearish fair value gap we just traded out of and above is from April 15th. This one that's above us is also from April 15th. But there was a big push down on that day. I need to go back and check the news. There was a, yeah, price just melted on that day. I think it went down like 400 points. Exactly. And that's probably something that we should keep in our back of our mind every time we see things moving slowly is that at some point in time, time will become the most valuable resource and price won't have a choice. It'll have to move. All right, it's 4 o'clock now. We're above this fair value gap. So it's great to see that we have invalidated. I will get rid of it. Now we just have the one up above us. Yep. If we quickly take a look at where the indices are trading, oops, right, you can see it's out of the screen now. Here we go. Let me pull it down. Right. So the expansion candles we had was the 9 o'clock, which is the opening bell. And now we have 3 o'clock, which essentially is the end of the trading day. So those were the two moments where we got big expansions today, and everything else was uh, expand a little bit, retract, expand a little bit, retract, a little bit, retract, a little bit, retract, or retract, expand a little bit. Either way, each hour was given a small ranges until the very end and from the very beginning. So that's all we really got today. We'll see where we end today and whether it continues to expand over the next 8 or 9 minutes. But crazy thing is we also have the dollar expanding higher and being bullish as well. So that'll be interesting to see how these all three plus the dollar trades overnight heading into tomorrow's session. Okay, let's get back and watch the last 7 or 8 minutes here and see how price closes out. Any final questions or comments for the last 10 minutes here? And if you're relatively new, don't feel shy. Ask any question you have. It'll only help move you quicker to your goal. If you enjoy coming to the stream and you're getting value from it, either from myself or from the other subscribers, don't forget to like the video. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. It's really crucial towards helping the channel grow and showing your appreciation for me. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's try to have a better day tomorrow, Lisa. Absolutely. If I had the patience, would have passed the evals. Come on, Satya. All right. Tomorrow's a new day. Turn over a new leaf. Let's get it tomorrow. All right. Pray and trade. Where did we hit? 200 institutional level. Which call are you talking about, Richard? Oh, the likes. Yes. Appreciate it. All right, we have 67 now, which is not too bad. It's not quite the 100 that I like to see. We've only reached that once or twice, but 67 is not the worst day we've had. All right, about 4 minutes remaining. 4 minutes remaining. So, any final questions or comments? Throw them in the chat. Make sure we get those answered before we get off. If you're dropping off now and you're done for the day, again, make sure you like the video. If you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, hopefully today was that day that convinced you that coming back would be a good idea. So make sure that you are subscribing. Make sure you have the notifications on, and you'll get invitations for all the live streams. As a reminder, anyone who wasn't on Friday, I will not be on this Friday, this coming Friday, and all of next week. This coming Friday and all of next week, I will not be live streaming. So make sure you are subscribed. So when I come back, you'll get the reminders. You won't have to worry about remembering and all that. Inverted on the 1 minute. Okay. I'll stretch it across and let's see what happens. We got about 2 or 3 minutes, so it's not a lot of time remaining. All right, so you got 3 minutes after this candle. See if it taps and then pushes. All right, there's the tap. From here. All right, Simon, catch you next time. All right, Richard, thank you as well. Milad. Okay, all right, we got a rejection. TP 178. Okay. Good luck. Let's hope you get there. Yeah, Friday and all next week. Yes, I will be visiting my parents. It's Mother's Day weekend, and then just kind of hanging out for a week. All right, Milad, you have a great afternoon as well. All right, everyone, we got a minute left. Milad wants 178. Let's see if he'll get it. Yeah, regardless of what happens during this minute, Milad, I do believe it's going to touch that 178. It just might do it after 410. So yeah, prop firms won't be able to capitalize on that trade. But if you had private funds, you probably could get it. Okay, maybe not. Look at that. All right, and that's how our trading day closes. It closed inside of the gap still. So let's delete that, and we'll say good afternoon, good evening, goodbye, and we'll try again tomorrow morning. Richard said, okay, who's subbing for you? Not sure. I'm not sure. I know last time when I was out, there's voice chat on the Discord. And so somebody did jump into the voice chat on the Discord. I can't remember exactly who. So you may want to check that. Check the Discord, and there's a voice chat folder. And if you click on that and someone is in there, you guys can converse with one another. And so I don't think you could see the screen, but you could hear someone talking about what the market is doing and what they're hoping happens next. So I'll leave that up for you guys to decide. I won't place anyone in that position, but if someone wants to do it, I'm sure they'll take up voice chat. So that's what I would do on Friday and next week, just in the morning and afternoon, check voice chat and see if someone is in there. All right, everyone, take care. I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right, so TJ's the one. Richard, looks like TJ's going to do it. So jump into voice chat and he'll be covering it. And I'm sure if he's in there, there's going to be multiple people in there, so there'll be several. So, but anyway, you got me until Thursday, so we'll talk about that later in the week. But have a good evening, everyone. Happy back testing, and we'll talk again tomorrow morning, 9:15. Take care.